Welcome to the fastest daf in town. Today we'll start the Zevachim daf Nun Zayin. We're going to begin on the bottom of Nun Vav and Beis by the Mishnah. We're going to be finishing up this famous parak of Ezim and Kaiman today. Habachor, when it comes to the firstborn animal, as well as V'Maiser, and Rashi helps us out a little bit. That's referring to Maiser Behema, the 10th of one's animals. As well as every 10th animal. But Pesach, and of course the Karban Pesach, they're all Kadashim columns. So we mentioned about Shlomim, this Kadashim column. Okay, so Shchitas B'chol Makom Azar, just like all situations, unlike Kadshei Kadashim, but the Shchita must be in the Safa in the north, Kadashim column can be anywhere in the Azara. The Dama To'oin Matana Achas. However, this is a little bit unique, that when it comes to these three, we only do one blood application. The reason is because it doesn't say the word saviv, rather it says damim tizroik. So we went out from there, they only have to do one blood application. However, it has to be connected the yesod, and therefore that excludes, as we saw before, the southeastern corner, where there is no yesod, which we talked about how that's possible. Is it that there is no yesod, or we just don't do the dam on that place? Okay. Shina b'achilasin. So even though they're the same when it comes to the dinim of the zrikas adam, they're different when it comes to the eating. Habachor nechol kohanim. The bachor is given and eaten by the kohanim, and the pasuk says yustar mieloch. When it comes to ma'aser behema chol adam, anyone can eat it. As Rashi says, Shalom Sina l'b'tayr shenit l'kayin. We don't find that ma'aser behema is given to the kayin. The nechol b'chol ear. The din is that it can be eaten anywhere in the city of Yerushalayim. B'chol meichel, anyone can eat it. L'shnei yamim v'layil echad, as opposed to Kadshei Kadashim, which only zichri kahuna, only male kohanim. However, in Kadshim kalim, anyone, and you also have 2 days and a night. So you have day, night, day, and as we said, that next night you can't eat it, but you don't burn it until the following day. HaPesach, we know the Karban Pesach, which we're quite intimate with, knowing this very well, it's only eaten on that night, the night of Pesach, and more specifically, we only have until midnight. After midnight, that's it. It's necessary that there must be a count. So at the time, as Rashi says, at even the time of the purchasing, but certainly during the time of the shechita, you already have to know who's part of the group. And the inunechal soli has to be roasted. Okay, that's exersa kasav. Says Gemara. So man Tana. So who is the Tana of our Mishnah when it comes to Ma'aser Pesach, and it's bezrika that we throw the dam, which of course we know by Pesach we don't. We do shafoich chamascha. We do shvicha. So anyway, so Rav Chisda, it's Rav Yosei Galil. He decided Rav Yosei Galil Oimer. It says chelbo nemar. It doesn't say it's fats. El chelbam, theirs. Damoy nemar el damam. So for some reason, it's mentioned these in Lashon Rabim, in a plural form. So therefore it teaches us that there is a requirement, even though these are Kadashim Kalam, you still need to do some type of a Zrika. Keneged the Sod Menon. How do you know that one Zrika must be at least done Keneged the Sod? So Rabbi Lezer asked the Zrika Ma'oil. We went out of Gzer Shava. What is that? As we continue to Nun Zayin Amud Aleph, the Ola Guf Menon. So fine. We're saying from Ola it has to be connected to the side. So to these. But how do we know that? Because the pasuk says, let's see the whole pasuk. It says the lokach hakoyin medam achatas, that the koyin will take from the dam of the chatas bets boy with his finger, but nosan hakonis mizbeach oila. And he'll put on the corners of the mizbeach. Yes, damoy yishboy chel yisod mizbach ha'oila. So el yisod mizbach ha'oila limit al oilas chayva shetuni yisod. It's coming to tell us that when it comes to any carbon in which is a necessity, so it requires the iso. So if we're talking about these other carbonos, so we know that one blood application is not enough. You have to do two, which is 4, which is not referring to the chatas like an ola. So Rabbi saviv ba'oila saviv b'chatas. So why does it mention saviv? You're supposed to do it all around. So we say that you can't learn out from the other two. It's only when it comes to an oila and only when it comes to chatas is it saviv that you have to do multiple blood applications. Mashain came here. So havi osham shloisha v'shloisha vada in malamdin. Okay, so there's also an osham is also a kashi kedoshim in which there's multiple blood applications. Okay. Habachor nechel kohanim tanaban. Menayin the bachor shenechel l'shnei yom v'layla echad. How do the carbon, the bachor, that the kohanim have 2 days and a night to eat it, day, night, day. Shenemar, because it says v'sar mielach. So it says the meat shall be to you, referring it should go to the kohen, right? And it says kachazia tenufa kashaika yamin. Just like the chaz v'shaik, which are matnas kahuna, so too when it comes to the bechor, you get the bechor. So at kishur kasav chaz v'shaik shel shlom. We compare it to when it comes to a shlomim. Typically the karma shlom is eaten by the baal, the owner. However, the chaz v'shaik, these sacrificial parts are given to the kohen. So So we'll learn out from a shlomim that just like the chaz v'shaik, you have. So the chaz v'shaik is a gift given to the kohen, and so does the bechor. And when it comes to shlomim, we already know it's 2 days and a night. So too when it comes to the bechor. But the truth is, this is a question that was already posed b'keren b'yavne. It was already posed in keren b'yavne. Rashi says b'kenim tamid chachamim yoshim shuroi shuros b'kekenen. The reason why it's called that is because you had all these scholars who were sitting in rows like in a vineyard. That's how it's brought down in Talmud Yerushalmi, Masechtas Brachos, and Talmud Yerushalmi. Anyway, so they actually posed this question: Bechor l'kama nechol, like how long do you have to be able to eat it? As we said, Rav Tarfon is supporting what we've been saying until now, that you have 2 days and a night. So Hayisham Tomdachas Shabola Beis Hamedrash was a student that happened to be around. Lifnei Chachamim Tchila Rav Yosef Guli Shemai. He was no slouch. He was the great Rav Yosef Glili. Amalo Rabbi Menayin Lucha. How do you know this? How do you know Taka that when it comes to Bechor, the din is that you have 2 days and a night? So Amalo Beni, my son, Shlomim Kadashim Kalam, Bechor Kadashim Kalam, because we're going to compare the Bechor to the Shlomim. Because they're both Kadashim Kalma. So just like the Shlomim is that amount of time, so the Bechor. Sarmalo Rebbe. So this is Rav Yosef Glili speaking back to Rav Tarfon. Bechor, the giving of the firstborn animal to the kohen is matan l'kohen. But chatas v'asham matan l'kohen. We also, when it comes to the chatas the asham, those are things that are eaten by the kohanim. So ma chatas v'asham l'yoyim v'layla af b'chor l'yam v'layla. Maybe you only have a day and a night, and that's it. So amlo nidain davar mitaych davar. We can derive one thing from the other. V'nilma davar mitaych davar. Ma shlom emain boyin al chet. Because when Madach, when it comes to Karma Shalomim, the reason why you bring a Shalom is not because of a sin. So Abachor Einu Ba El Achet. Ma Shalomim Nechon L'Shneim V'Layla Echad. Abachor Nechon L'Shneim V'Layla Echad. So you can't compare it to a Chatas, to an Asham, a sin offering, a guilt offering. There was a sin connected to it. Asham Eilois, Asham Shivcha Charufa, Asham Taloi, Asham. Maybe not Asham Tzara. It's an interesting point, but nonetheless. It's something to think about. So Amulo Rebbe Nidan Davar Medavar Yilma Davar Medavar Chatas Vasham Matan Kayin. So first of all, Chatas Vasham is a gift to the Kayin. Bechor Matan Kayin. Ma Chatas Yashim Ein Boyin Benedim Nedava. Also, a Chatas cannot be a free will offering. Bechor Einu Nedim Nedava. It has to be something in which actually is the firstborn. However, Shlomim Kutakami Nedim Nedava. So maybe we can't compare. So maybe we shouldn't compare Bechor to Shalom. So Machatas Hashem Nechol Noyim Echad Af Bechor Nechol Yoim Echad. Right. So L'chayra, we have a good point. So Kavatz Rabbi Kiva and the Nistalk Rav Tarfon. So Rabbi Kiva basically jumped up to the rescue. Omelo Harihu Amar. The pasuk says, let's get the pasuk over here. The pasuk says, Ach Bechor Shor, or Bechor Kesev, or Bechor Eiz. When it comes to all these firstborn animals, Lutifte, don't redeem it. Kodesh Haim, they're holy. As Damam Tizraik Al HaMizbeach. So you have to sprinkle their blood on the Mizbeach, which we said is only one blood application. This Chelbam Taktir, as well as its fats need to be, you have to burn it. Isha, as a fire offering, L'rech Nechach Hashem. It was Sarm Yelach, Kechazia Tenufa, Keshek Hayomin Yelach. L'cha Yeh. So let's look at the Gemara. So it was Sarim Yelach that the Bechor, the meat, will go to you, the Kohen. Akishna Kasav L'chazav V'shaik Shashom. Mashom Nechol L'shnei Yomim V'layel Echad. Bechor Nechol L'shnei Yomim V'layel Echad, which we said before. We're going to compare it to the Chazav V'shaik. Shalom. So Amelo Hekishasai L'chazav V'shaik Shalomim. You wish to make a hekesh from the Chazav V'shaik of Shalomim. That so too when it goes to Bechor, it's that long. It's 2 days and a night. Yani Mekash L'chazav V'shaik Shal Taida. Maybe we can compare it to the Taida. So maybe again, when it comes to the Taida, which is only not day, night, day, but rather it's day, night, so maybe that's what we compare it to. So we already have that pasuk that it says these extra words that it's the Bechor is given to the Kayin. What? So what do we learn now? Yeah. What is it coming to tell you when it says l'chayeh? So hayisav akasiv havaya cheres bebechor. It's coming to add something on for the bechor. So basically, what does that mean? Basically, it's coming to tell us that it's coming to say that this pasuk is telling that there's something else that's done. Which is, when it comes to the Bechor, it's similar to the dinim of a Shlomim and not of a Taida. Let's see if we have Rashi over here. Okay. So, Amru Devar Mefnei Rabbi Shmuel. So you often find Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Shmuel linked in many Gemaras. Armelhen Suva Amrul Rabbi Kiva. Go and tell Rabbi Kiva to Isa. There was a mistake. Taida mehechen lamda. How do you learn out Taida? It's mishlamim. The whole din of a Taida, all the dinim is linked to a shlamim. V'chi davar halam behekesh chayzam lam behekesh. Ha'enol chalida in b'lashan achar and el b'lashan rishain. So basically, it's not shaykh to be able to learn out from Taida, because the Taida is learned, the whole dinim of Taida is from Shlomim. So then once you know Shlomim only from Taida only from Shlomim, you can't then say, oh, so now let's make a hekesh from Toda to Bechor. No, because we only learned out the dinim of a Taida from a hekesh. So therefore, instead we have to learn straight from the Shlomim, and therefore it tells us you have 2 days and a night. Amru hadvar mit Rabbi Shmuel Amru hen Suba Amru Rabbi Kiva to Isa Taida mehechem lam dam shlama. Begin lam mehech mehekesh chayzum lam mehekesh. Ha'enu lech lidayin v'lashachar and l'lashon risha. Okay. Rabbi Shmuel hayluch l'cha yeh ma'idam avidli. What does he do with that pasuk? Limid al bechor balmum. That when it comes to a bechor, even though it has a blemish, shehu matan l'kayin, it's still considered to be a valid gift to the kayin. Shlomet sinu b'chol Torah. Which is something which you never find anywhere else in the Torah. Which normally you would think if it's a balmum, then it's not fit, etc. However, when it comes to Bechor, we have an unusual situation. It says Rashi Lamandu Bechol Torah Kula Elam Ekan. It's only here that we have that then. Rabbi Kiva Yof Le Nibsarim Chad Tam V'Chad Balmum. The fact that it says it comes to include even balmum you give it. Maybe Shmuel Bibsaram the Hanach B'charis Kaimer. So he says it's referring to that of the Bechor. So B'maiki Mefagi. So it sounds like they're really not arguing so much. But Mar Savar Himenu V'Davar Acher. havi hekesh. Marasavar lo havi hekesh. What does that mean? Micah Mifli Rabbi Shimon Rabbi Kiva, says Rashi, the al karchach ein hekesh chayzmal mehekesh. Everyone holds you can't learn out from Taida because Taida is only from Shlomim, so therefore you have to learn instead the din of a bechor to Shlomim. So Rabbi Kiva might tell me Gomer law. So himenu davar va'achar, says Rashi, achilas chaz v'shoik shel Taida. When it comes to the giving of the chaz v'shoik to the kohen, that of a Taida, in which he has a day and a night, himenu v'davar achar himidua. Ksas hamolamed ksibba. The ksibba Taida yom v'layla. It already says yom v'layla. Ksas hi lamidim amakam acher. A little bit was learned elsewhere. Mahi chaz v'shoik, regarding the chaz v'shoik. The lo ksiv ba. It's not written there. So Rabbi Yishmuel savar hekeshu nimsa masha chaz v'shoik nechon liyam v'layla. The fact that it says that when it comes to chaz v'shoik, you can eat it day and night. Min a hekesh lama. It's actually learned out from a hekesh, and therefore you can't learn it out again from another hekesh. Rabbi Kiva savar hoyel v'yom v'layla, but Taida ksiv. It does say day and night already by the Taida. Avdang chaz v'shoik midim a hekesh. Even though it's true we're learning it out from a hekesh from chaz v'shoik, lo have izman achilas chaz v'shoik shel Taida davar lamed a hekesh. This aspect of the time is not learned out from a hekesh because it says it already. It says yom v'layla. So the machlokas is, this is something which is like not even like a full hekesh, or it's not at all. So therefore, can you really learn out a hekesh from it afterwards? Fine. So that's the point. Rabbi Kiva yofla mibesorim chad. Okay. So Mar Sava he met about acher havi hekesh. Mar Sava havi hekesh. So if it's not a hekesh, then it's not a problem to learn out from bechor to over here, as opposed to shlomim. Okay, so bishlam adir havi hekesh hader sevachen yasol moed. That's so it should be an olamoy. Kashem she mazel lefnim achas omal v'shevel lamata medam apar. So just like we do the zrika, the kohen gadol in lefnai lefnim, and he does it the special time, just like we say at the avot of Musaf and Yom Kippur, that we say one above and achas v'achas, which is one and one low, and then 2, 3 until 7. So it's 1 and 7. We went out from that from the dama par. Kach mazah behechel. So too it has to be done in the kodesh. We went out from the dama sayer, the amount of times. Kach maz behechel. So too should be done there. Okay. El lomandi yomer havi hekesh malchem emar. So if you hold the hekesh, so what are you going to say? So min kaimaisu de gemir mahadadi. So says Rashi, the ein ze chayz mulam behekesh. This is actually not considered to be like a hekesh to begin with, to learn from another. Why? The hekesh, says Rashi, kama behemus iskush. So it's compared to behemus of a kisha batra min kaimus iskush. So it's like a different hekesh. One has to do with the animals, right? Whether it's the par of the sire, and over here has to do with the amount of time. So you can't say, well, over here it's the same thing, because over here you're learning two separate things. One is you're learning that the din of the sprinkling is not just by it's by the par and the sire, and it's also telling you where it should be done, also in the heichel. So these are totally separate things, except for over here it's not. Okay, fine. Nun Zayin Amid Beis. V'imoy seima. Alternatively, chutz mifnim b'chad zimna gomer. Says Rashi, v'hachi isa b'seder yoyma. It says, Kloimer, nihi nami, the hekesh min kaimus ke hekesh behemus, since really it's the same, hoyel v'hekesh sarach lefnim, afil hachi lo dam yolahu do el. This hekesh of a par and sar is not the same as what we said before. The il hechel, kula milsa boil melch mifnim. So everything is done inside. The idea the nitin hekish l'darsh b'davarim hamafarshim b'fnim kamo lamata b'par l'malu b'soyer, as it says down by the par and up by the soyer. Nidish l'ome b'vasachas, we like link them together. Uva avma shalom b'fnim hekish imoi. Begami hekish to le'el nami im kosta b'toida. If it's said by the toida for hukish b'chor l'toida, we connect the b'chor to the toida. Then lilmoid loy achas v'shaik v'olamda b'hekesh iyav v'hukish b'chor l'chuda atzma v'hayu lamid b'menu tenu achas v'shaik v'achilas yom v'layel. The v'tash yechayil lilmoid alav zman achila shu kasuba m'olamdi nami alav tenufos chas v'shaik. Okay, aval hashta l'toida atzma l'akisha, but we actually are not making a hekesh to it. El chaz v'shaik shebatoida v'toida atzmo lamdo el b'hekesh. Okay, so again, it could still be problematic, and you can't compare it to the case of the Parvasar Yom Kippur. Okay, fine. Now let's slow down for a minute, and let's get to the two dots. Bishlam l'madi amer havi hekesh hanadechsev v'mamoshoy seichem taviu lechem tenufa. Shentam on taviu to bring him. Atam on taviu kol sheata maybe mamakam l'makayim. And you bring it from one place to the next, makam acher harihu kizet mal hoan isaron l'chalo afkan isaron l'chalo. So when it comes to both, there's this particular measurement. So imal hoan shnei esrainim afkan shnei esrainim. It should be two. Talmud Leimer tiena v'lamanu asar l'chametz asar l'matzah. Now when it comes to the taida, it should be asar for chametz and asar for matzah. So menayin Talmud Leimer al chalos lechem chametz neged chametz haba matzah. Whatever you brought for that, you should also bring the same measure. Of course, it's 40. It's really 30 of one and 10 of the other, but the amounts total. Elmandi yayimer lo have a hekesh malcha meimer tavi yiserahi. So it's an extra another pasuk. Okay, let's look at question 13. It was Sarm Yellow, Kachazet Tenufa Chashaka Yomin, Al Eza Carbon Myri Crow. What is this pasuk talking about? So this pasuk is talking about where it says Sarm Yeloch. It's given to the Kayin. This is referring to the Bechor. So he said that regarding 2 days and a night. That's it. That's the Hekesh. Question 14. I skip over that. Where's question? I didn't write this. Usarim Yeloch. Madu Ksib Usarim Loshen Rabim. A libid Rabbi Kiva. Why does it say meats double? So Chad Tam v'Chad Balmum. Okay, so this is the drush of not Rabbi Shmuel, but rather, let's find this. Okay, so Rabbi Kiva Yolaflo Mibsaram Chad Latam Chad Balmum. So when it comes to a Bechor, even if it's a Balmum, it's still given to the Kohen, not a problem, which again is not typical of other karbanos. Okay. TA 7 Mekama Esrainim Havi Oisin Lachmi Taida. So we just saw that. So Asar Esrainos L'chametz Bisar Esronos L'matzah. So we said it's perfectly split. So that's what it says over here. It says when it comes to the 40 breads, Malaholan, right, we have over here. So Taviu Kol Shatamevi Mamakom Mamakom Acher. So Hari Oimer Kazeh Malaholan Isaran L'chala Avkan Isaran L'chala. So that's what it is. Right? So Zayin again. Asar Esronos L'chametz Asar Esronos L'matzah. Or it says over here, V'lomanu Asara L'chametz V'asar L'matzah. Okay, so that's question TA 7. All right. Rashi says, L'manu Asar Esronos L'chametz. Says Rashi. Daha Yud Chalos Lamudos bo b'gzer shava matrumas meiser. Matrumas meiser echad me'eser trumas. Okay, Zalman shachal isaron haramani yud esrona salchametz imenu v'davar acher yud chal u'salmanu shehin kvar v'hukish. Okay. So it says Alma Chametz Shalmanu Bayasara Esronois Behimenu V'Davar Acher Chayz Mulamin Al Matzah Behekesh Asar Esroinim. So apparently we have this hekesh where go back to another hekesh. So it seems to be like you could learn out one hekesh to another according to this. Okay, that's TA 7. TB, exactly the same question. 10. Mekam esroinim havi oisin lachmi taida. Sara esroinim amatzav Sara esroinim machametz. That is, should say not me chametz, but le chametz. Okay. All right. So that's TB10. Should say le matzah and le chametz. Okay. All right. Alright, that's going to probably be it. Let's finish up this simple piece over here. HaPesach inu nechol. So man tana. So Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Eliezer ben Azari, he desanya. Rabbi Eliezer ben Azari, I remember never kan b'layl hazeh, and I'm going to have Eretz Mitzrayim b'layl hazeh. By the din of by the machas b'chayres. So malu hol chatzai. So avkan al chatzos. So we see have until midnight. Rabbi Kiva v'look for nemar v'chaltam oisu v'chipazayin. They ate it in haste. So it should be ad shas chipazoin, which is the day. You have the whole night then. So him came out and went about b'layla, so I say at night. So shiyachol yehekechol kachim. You think it's like all other kachim. Hanechol miyoyim, that you can eat it during the day, like any kashi kadashim is day night, and kashim kalam you have day night day, like a shlomim. So tell me the Lord b'layla yehekechol enu nechol miyoyim. You can only eat the korban pesach at night. Rabbi Eliezer ben Azariah. How do we know that we're saying it's like the shita of Rabbi Eliezer ben Azariah? Says after chatzos the deraisa, and he's saying mid deraisa you have only until chatzos. Dilma derabanan l'harchak min avera. Right. So as we saw again in the beginning of Masechtas Brachos, maybe really that's it. You have until chatzos. So imkin my El ad chatzos. Why does it say you have only until midnight? El ki hasam ma hasam deraisav kanami diraisa. So it says Rashi, Yomi Delaila. It's just like all the other dinim. It has to be at night. In Minuyev, you have to make a count. But Sli and the roasting. So all these things are dini deraisa. So therefore, it must be also over here. Obviously, it's a din deraisa, and therefore that could only be like the shita Rabbi Eliezer ben Azariah. But again, of course, this is a machlokas whether or not we have until chatzos or later. But the Mishnah clearly says only ad chatzos. Hanulach ezvin kaiman as hanulach ezvin kaiman hanulach ezvin kaiman. We're going to continue on page Nun Ches Kachi Kadashim Sheshachtam Boroish Hamizbeach. The Kachi Kadashim. What is the din when it's shechted on the Mizbeach? We know it's supposed to be shechted on the north. We'll see this and obviously a lot to it tomorrow. Adkan.